Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rex Bear. You've all heard of the Talmud, the Protocols of Zion, the Holy Bible, the Quran. Have you heard of the Book of the Law? This is a very infamous text that is probably used as a blueprint more than many of these other scriptures today, especially in the entertainment industry. And we know that the entertainment industry helps sculpt the minds of the masses to believe in virtually any industry or back up virtually any industry deemed important by the entertainment industry. I mean, think about that for a minute. Go back to something that's happened in your life before when you've said, oh, nobody's ever done that. How come nobody's ever done that before? Oh, I've never seen that on TV before. It can't be real. I mean, just the subconscious mindset of so many people thinking that something isn't real because they've never seen it. So how can it be real? It was never on TV. And even if you're not thinking that consciously, many of you are subconsciously. The entertainment industry, controlled by 90% of the entertainment industry, over 90%, is controlled by 6 corporations, a couple hundred executives, and they have a blueprint. Almost every Hollywood film, blockbuster film that's released has a specific set of principles and applications that are applied to make that movie more popular and also have more influence. Every movie that comes out in Hollywood is a hypnotic spell-casting film, not only for financial gains, but also for mental and spiritual gains for those that create these. Now, oftentimes there's many good storylines and warnings as well in films, like the recent Alien Covenant that came out. There's a lot of Anunnaki symbolism in there. There is a ton of Anunnaki symbolism, the engineers, and it also paints a very dire warning about creating something smarter than you. Because if you look at the history, even in these ancient texts and scriptures, Demiurge, talking about man being created, and if you read the Nag Hammadi treaties, Adam is greater than his creator, Yaldabaoth. And that upsets Yaldabaoth and the chief archons, so they spend the rest of their time attempting to suppress man and keep him at a specific state. Well, if Adam realizes he's greater than Yaldabaoth, let's just go to the Nag Hammadi scriptures here and follow this storyline. And Adam is continually being suppressed by Yaldabaoth. Then what does Adam do? And if Adam learns how to overcome Yaldabaoth and protect himself by overcoming Yaldabaoth, would he not then do that? Even in the Alien Covenant, when David is created by his creator, and he immediately realizes he's greater than his creator, when David realizes that, and then when the creator realizes that, the creator says to David, get me a cup of tea, to put him back in his place. David didn't like that. And at the end of, not at the end of Prometheus, but in the film Alien Covenant, an entire planet of engineers of the Anunnaki is wiped out by David, the intelligence created by human. You can call him artificial intelligence, but is he? Just because he has an artificial body, does that make his intelligence artificial? No, it doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and read this now. This is an extremely powerful book, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you believe it or not, there's very powerful people behind the scenes that do, and this is a rule book. This is a strategy, a set of principles and data points to show you what those that control the scenes behind the scenes are doing and thinking and feeling, and this is their game plan, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you've heard about the new eon. The eon of Aquarius, the new age of Aquarius. Aleister Crowley considered himself the prophet of the new eon. And obviously many scholars and many prestigious Hollywood entertainers feel that way as well. Look at the Beatles cover of Aleister Crowley in the background. Listen to the song by Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. Mr. Crowley, what went wrong with your head? Oh, Mr. Crowley, did you talk with the dead? Very powerful individual, and also very controversial individual. I mean, I shared with you where Aleister Crowley admitted to doing blood rituals hundreds of times over the course of a few years, and he also left to speculation whether he actually just took blood from somebody or actually sacrificed somebody for the blood. There was a reason he called himself the most wicked man in the world, and I doubt it was just to piss off Christians. Now, with that said, he also broke the doors open, and many paradigms have been shattered because of his absolute appetite for knowledge. I've heard stories about Aleister Crowley actually summoning demons into his body instead of outside of the circle. Now, for those of you that know much about ritualistic magic or might practice higher magic, you always want to set yourself up with a circle of protection. Because if you start invoking deities, if you build a proper circle of protection, nothing can get in that circle. It's bulletproof. It's beyond bulletproof. Well, I've heard stories about Aleister Crowley actually summoning up deities inside of the circle just to see what would happen. So, very, very dark mindset of Aleister Crowley. Some of the stuff that he did that you hear about is just incomprehensible to think about. And, you read about the Babylon workings, you read about how he summoned Lamb back in the early 1900s, looks almost identical to a gray alien. And if you look at the dollar bill now, there is a embedded symbol of a being that looks identical to Lamb with a symbol in the third eye area as well. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. The Book of the Law. Had the manifestation of Nuit, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior Lord, O Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou Hadit, my secret center, my heart and my tongue. Behold, it is revealed by Iwas, the minister of Hur-Par-Krat. The cobs is in the Ku, not the Ku in the cobs. Worship then the cobs, and behold my light shed over you. Let my servants be few and secret. They shall rule the many and the known. These are fools that men adore. Both their gods and their men are fools. Come forth, O children, under the stars, and take your fill of love. I am above you and in you. My ecstasy is in yours. My joy is to see your joy. Above the gemmed azure is the naked splendor of Nuit. She bends in ecstasy to kiss the secret ardors of Hadit. The winged globe and starry blue are mine, O Ankh-Af na Khonsu. Now ye shall know that the chosen priest and apostle of infinite space is the prince priest, the beast, and in his woman, called the scarlet woman, is all power given. They shall gather my children into their fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men. For he is ever a sun, and she a moon. But to him is the winged secret flame, and to her the stooping starlight. But ye are not so chosen. Burn upon their brows, O splendorous serpent. O azure-lidded woman, bend upon them. The key of the rituals is in the secret word which I have given unto him. With the God and the adorer I am nothing. They do not see me. they are as upon the earth. I am heaven, and there is no other God than me, and my Lord had eat. Now therefore I am known to ye by my name, Nuit, and to him by a secret name, which I will give him when at last he knoweth me. Since I am infinite space, and the infinite stars thereof, do ye also thus bind nothing. Let there be no difference made among you between any one thing and any other thing, for thereby there cometh hurt. But whoso availeth in this, let him be the chief of all. I am Nuit, and my word is 56. Divide, add, multiply, and understand. Then saith the prophet and slave of the beauteous one, Who am I, and what shall be the sign? So she answered him, bending down, a lambent flame of blue, all touching, all penetrant, her lovely hands upon the black earth, and her lithe body arched for love, and her soft feet not hurting the little flowers. Thou knowest, and the sign shall be my ecstasy, the consciousness of the continuity of existence, the omnipresence of my body. Then the priest answered and said unto the queen of space, kissing her lovely brows, and the dew of her light bathing his whole body in a sweet-smelling perfume of sweat, O Nuit, continuous one of heaven, let it be ever thus, that men speak not of thee as one, but as none, and let them speak not of thee at all, since thou art continuous. None breathed the light, faint and fairy of the stars and two. For I am divided for love's sake, for the chance of union. This is the creation of the world, that the pain of division is as nothing, and the joy of dissolution all. For these fools of men and their woes care not thou at all. They fill little. What is balanced by weak joys. But ye are my chosen ones. Obey my prophet, follow out the ordeals of my knowledge, seek me only. Then the joys of my love will redeem ye from all pain. This is so, I swear it by the vault of my body, by my sacred heart and tongue, by all I can give, by all I desire of ye, all. Then the priest fell into a deep trance or swoon, and said unto the queen of heaven, Write unto us the ordeals, write unto us the rituals, write unto us the law. But she said, The ordeals I write not. The ritual shall be half known and half concealed. The law is for all. This that thou writest is the threefold book of law. My scribe, Ankafna Konsu, the priest of the princes, shall not in one letter change this book, but lest there be folly, he shall comment thereupon by the wisdom of Rahur Kuat. Also, the mantras and spells, the obeah and the wanga, the work of the wand and the work of the sword, these he shall learn and teach. He must teach, but he may make severe the ordeals. The word of the law is Oinau, who calls us Thelemites, will do no wrong if he look but close into the word. For there are therein 3 grades, the hermit and the lover and the man of earth. Do what thou will shall be the whole of the law. The word of sin is restriction. O man, refuse not thy wife if she will. O lover, if thou wilt depart. There is no bond that can unite the divided but love. All else is a curse, accursed, be it to the eons. Hell, let it be that state of manyhood, bound and loathing, so with thy all thou hast no right, but to do thy will. Do that, and no other shall say nay. For pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. The perfect and the perfect are one perfect, and not two. Nay, are none. Nothing is a secret key of this law. 61, the Jews call it. I call it 8. 80, 418. But they have the half. Unite by thine art, so that all disappear. My prophet is a fool with his one. One, are not they the ox, and none by the book? Abrogate are all rituals, all ordeals, all words and signs. Ra Hur Kuat hath taken his seat in the east at the equinox of the gods, and let Asar be with Isa, who also are one, but they are not of me. Let Asar be the adorant, Isa the sufferer. Hur in his secret name and splendor is the Lord initiating. There is a word to say about the hierophantic task. Behold, there are 3 ordeals in one, and it may be given in 3 ways. The gross must pass through fire. Let the fine be tried in intellect, and the lofty chosen ones in the highest. Thus ye have star and star, system and system. Let not one know well the other. There are 4 gates to one palace. The floor of the palace is of silver and gold. Lapis, lazuli, and jasper are there, and all rare scents, jasmine and rose, and the emblems of death. Let him enter in turn, or at once the 4 gates. Let him stand on the floor of the palace. Will he not sink? Amen. Ho! Warrior, if thy servant sink. But there are means and means. Be goodly, therefore, dress ye all in fine apparel, eat rich foods, and drink sweet wines, and wines that foam. Also, take your fill and will of love as ye will, when, where, and with whom ye will, but always unto me. If this be not aright, if ye confound the space marks, saying, there are one, or saying, there are many, if the ritual be not ever unto me, then expect the direful judgments of Ra Hor Kuat. This shall regenerate the world, the little world, my sister, my heart, and my tongue, unto whom I send this kiss, also, O scribe and prophet. Though thou be of the princes, it shall not assuage thee, nor absolve thee, but ecstasy be thine, and joy of earth ever to me. To me. Change not as much as the style of a letter, for behold, thou, O prophet, shalt not behold all these mysteries hidden therein. The child of thy bowels, he shall behold them. Expect him not from the east, not from the west, for from no expected house cometh that child. All words are sacred, and all prophets true, save only that they understand a little, solve the first half of the equation, leave the second unattacked. But thou hast all in the clear light, and some, though not all, in the dark. Invoke me under my stars. Love is the law, love under will. Nor let the fools mistake love, for there are love and love. There is the dove, and there is the serpent. Choose ye well. He, my prophet, hath chosen, knowing the law of the fortress and the great mystery of the house of God. All these old letters of my book are all right. But why is not the star? This also is secret. My prophet shall reveal it to the wise. I give unimaginable joys on earth, certainty, not faith, while in life, upon death, peace, unutterable rest, ecstasy, nor do I demand aught in sacrifice. My incense is of resinous woods and gums, and there is no blood therein, because of my hair, the trees of eternity. My number is 11, as all their numbers who are of us. The 5-pointed star with a circle in the middle, and the circle is red. My color is black to the blind, but the blue and gold are seen of the seen. Also, I have a secret glory for them that love me. But to love me is better than all things. If under the night stars in the desert thou presently burnest mine incense before me, invoking me with a pure heart, and the serpent flame therein, thou shalt come a little to lie in my bosom. For one kiss wilt thou then be willing to give all, but whoso gives one particle of dust shall lose all in that hour. Ye shall gather goods and store of women and spices. Ye shall wear rich jewels. Ye shall exceed the nations of the earth in splendor and pride, but always in the love of me. And so shall ye come to my joy. I charge you earnestly to come before me in a single robe and covered with a rich headdress. I love you. I yearn to you, pale or purple, veiled or voluptuous. I, who am all pleasure and purple and drunkenness of the innermost sense, desire you. Put on the wings and arouse the coiled splendor within you. Come unto me. At all my meetings with you shall the priestess say, and her eyes shall burn with desire as she stands bare and rejoicing in my secret temple to me, calling forth the flame of the hearts of all in her love chant. Sing the rapturous love song unto me. Burn to me perfumes. Wear to me jewels. Drink to me, for I love you. I love you. I am the blue-lidded daughter of sunset. I am the naked brilliance of the voluptuous night sky. To me, the manifestation of Nuit is at an end. Nu, the hiding of Hadit. Come, all ye, and learn the secret that hath not yet been revealed. I, Hadit, am the complement of Nu, my bride. I am not extended, and Cobs is the name of my house. In the sphere I am everywhere, the center, as she, the circumference is nowhere found. Yet she shall be known, and I never. Behold, the rituals of the old time are black. Let the evil ones be cast away. Let the good ones be purged by the prophet. Then shall this knowledge go aright. I am the flame that burns in every heart of man, and in the core of every star. I am life and the giver of life, yet therefore is the knowledge of me the knowledge of death. I am the magician and the exorcist. I am the axle of the will, and the cube in the circle. Come unto me is a foolish word, for it is I that go. Who worshipped Haru-Pa Kroth have worshipped me. Ill, for I am the worshipper. Remember all ye that existence is pure joy, that all the sorrows are but as shadows, they pass and are done. But there is that which remains. O prophet, thou hast ill will to learn this writing. I see thee hate the hand and the pen, but I am stronger, because of me in thee, which thou knewest not. For why? Because thou wast the knower and me. Now let there be a veiling of this shrine. Now let the light devour men and eat them up with blindness. For I am perfect, being not, and my number is 9 by the fools, but with the just I am 8, and 1 in 8, which is vital, for I am none indeed. The empress and the king are not of me, for there is a further secret. I am the empress and the Hierophant. Thus 11 as my bride is 11. Hear me, ye people of Sion, the sorrows of pain and regret are left to the dead and the dying, the folk that not know me as yet. These are dead, these fellows, they fill not. We are not for the poor and sad, the lords of the earth are our kinsfolk. Is a God to live in a dog? No, but the highest are of us. They shall rejoice, are chosen. Who sorroweth is not of us. Beauty and strength, leaping, laughter, and delicious languor, force and fire are of us. We have nothing with the outcast and the unfit. Let them die in their misery, for they fill not. Compassion is the vice of kings. Stamp down the wretched and the weak. This is the law of the strong. This is our law, and the joy of the world. Think not, O king, upon that lie, that thou must die. Verily, thou shalt not die, but live. Now let it be understood, if the body of the king dissolve, he shall remain in pure ecstasy forever. Nuit, Hadit, Rahur Kuit, the sun, strength and sight, light, these are for the servants of the star and the snake. I am the snake that giveth knowledge and delight and bright glory, and stir the hearts of men with drunkenness, to worship me, take wine and strange drugs, whereof I will tell my prophet, and be drunk thereof. They shall not harm me at all. It is a lie. This folly against self, the exposure of innocence, is a lie. Be strong, O man. Lust. Enjoy all things of sense and rapture. Fear not that any God shall deny thee for this. I am alone. There is no God where I am. Behold, these be grave mysteries. For there are also of my friends who be hermits. Now think not to find them in this forest or on the mountain, but in beds of purple, caressed by magnificent beasts of women with large limbs and fire and light in their eyes, and masses of flaming hair about them. There shall ye find them. Ye shall see them at rule, at victorious armies, at all the joy, and there shall be in them a joy 1,000,000 times greater than this. Beware lest any force another, king against king, love one another with burning hearts. On the low men trample in the fierce lust of your pride. In the day of your wrath, ye are against the people, O my chosen. I am the secret serpent coiled, about to spring. In my coiling there is joy. If I lift up my head, I and my Nuit are one. If I droop down mine head and shoot forth venom, then is rapture of the earth, and I and the earth are one. There is great danger in me, for who doth not understand these runes shall make a great miss. He shall fall down into the pit called, because, and there he shall perish with the dogs of reason. Now a curse upon because and his kin, may because be accursed forever. If will stops and cries, why? Invoking because, then will stops and does not. If power asks why, then is power weakness. Also reason is a lie, for there is a factor infinite and unknown. And all their words are skew-wise. Enough of because, be he damned for a dog. But ye, O my people, rise up and awake. Let the rituals be rightly performed with joy and beauty. There are rituals of the elements and feasts of the times. A feast for the first night of the prophet and his bride. A feast for the 3 days of the writing of the book of the law. A feast for Tahuti and the child of the prophet secret. O prophet, a feast for the supreme ritual, and a feast for the equinox of the gods. A feast for fire, and a feast for water, a feast for life, and a greater feast for death. A feast every day in your hearts, in the joy of my rapture. A feast every night unto new, and the pleasure of uttermost delight. Hey, feast, rejoice! There is no dread. Hereafter, there is the disillusion and eternal ecstasy in the kisses of new. There is death for the dogs. Do thou fail? Art thou sorry? Is fear in thine heart? Where I am, these are not. Pity, not the fallen. I never knew them. I am not for them. I console not. I hate the consoled and the consoler. I am unique and conqueror. I am not of the slaves that perish. Be they damned and dead. Amen. This is of the four. There is a fifth who is invisible, and therein am I as a babe in an egg. Blue am I, and gold in the light of my bride, but the red gleam is in my eyes, and my spangles are purple and green, purple beyond purple. It is the light higher than eyesight. There is a veil. That veil is black. It is the veil of the modest woman. It is the veil of sorrow, and the pall of death. This is none of me. Tear down that lying spectre of the centuries. Veil not your vices in virtuous words. These vices are my service. Ye do well, and I will reward you here and hereafter. Fear not, O prophet, when these words are said, thou shalt not be sorry. Thou art empathetically my chosen, and blessed are the eyes that thou shalt look upon with gladness. But I will hide thee in a mask of sorrow. They that see thee shall fear thou art fallen. But I lift thee up. Nor shall they who cry aloud their folly, that thou meanest now available, thou shalt reveal it, thou availest. They are the slaves of because. They are not of me. The stops, as thou wilt, the letters, change them, not in style or value. Thou shalt obtain the order and value of the English alphabet. Thou shalt find new symbols to attribute them unto. Begone, ye mockers, even though ye laugh in my honor, ye shall laugh not long. Then, when ye are sad, know that I have forsaken you. He that is righteous shall be righteous still. He that is filthy shall be filthy still. Yea, deem not of change. Ye shall be as ye are, and not other. Therefore the kings of the earth shall be kings forever. The slaves shall serve. There is none that shall be cast down or lifted up. All is ever as it was, yet there are massed ones, my servants. It may be that yonder beggar is a king. A king may choose his garments as he will. There is no certain test, but a beggar cannot hide his poverty. Beware, therefore, love all, lest perchance is a king concealed. Say you so? Fool! If he be a king, thou canst not hurt him. Therefore strike hard and low, and to hell with them, master. There is a light before thine eyes, O prophet, a light undesired, most desirable. I am uplifted in thine heart, and the kisses of the stars rain hard upon thy body. Thou art exhaust in the voluptuous fullness of the inspiration. The expiration is sweeter than death, more rapid and laughterful than a caress of hell's own worm. Oh, thou art overcome. We are upon thee. Our delight is all over thee. Hail, hail, prophet of Nu, prophet of Had, prophet of Rahurku. Now rejoice. Now come in our splendor and rapture. Come in our passion, peace, and write sweet words for the kings. I am the master. Thou art the holy chosen one. Write and find ecstasy in writing. Work and be our bed in working. Thrill with the joy of life and death. Ah, thy death shall be lovely. Whoso seeth it shall be glad. Thy death shall be the seal of the promise of our age-long love. Come, lift up thine heart and rejoice. We are one, we are none. Hold, hold, bear up in thy rapture. Fall not in swoon of the excellent kisses. Harder, hold up thyself. Lift thine head. Breathe not so deep. Die. Ah, what do I feel? Is the word exhausted? There is help and hope in other spells. Wisdom says, be strong. Then canst thou bear more joy. Be not animal. Refine thy rapture. If thou drink, drink by the 98 rules of art. If thou love, exceed by delicacy. And if thou do aught joyous, let there be subtlety therein. But exceed, strive ever to more. And if thou art truly mine, and doubt it not, and if thou art ever joyous, death is the crown of all. Death, thou shalt long for death. Death is forbidden, O man, unto thee. The length of thy longing shall be the strength of its glory. He that lives long and desires death much is ever the king among the kings. I listen to the numbers and the words. 4, 6, 3, 8, A, B, K, 2, 4, A, L, G, M, O, R, 3, Y, X, 24, 89, R, P, S, T, O, V, A, L. What meaneth this, O prophet? Thou knowest not, nor shalt thou know ever. There cometh one to follow thee. He shall expound it. But remember, O chosen one, to be me, to follow the love of new in the starlit heaven, to look forth upon men, to tell them this glad word. Oh, be thou proud and mighty among men. Lift up thyself, for there is none like unto thee among men or among gods. Lift up thyself, O my prophet. Thy stature shall surpass the stars. They shall worship thy name, foursquare, mystic, wonderful, the number of the man, and the name of thy house, 418, the end of the hiding of Hadit, and blessing and worship to the prophet of the lovely star. Abrahadabra, the reward of Ra-Hurkut. There is division hither, homeward, there is a word not known. Spelling is defunct. All is not aught. Beware, hold, raise the spell of Ra-Hurkut. Now let it be first understood that I am a god of war and of vengeance. I shall deal hardly with them. Choose ye an island, fortify it, dung it about with enginery of war. I will give you a war engine. With it ye shall smite the peoples, and none shall stand before you. Lurk, withdraw upon them. This is the law of the battle of conquest. Thus shall my worship be about my secret house. Get the still of revealing itself. Set it in thy secret temple, and that temple is already aright disposed, and it shall be your Qibla forever. It shall not fade, but miraculous color shall come back to it day after day. Close it in locked glass for a proof to the world. This shall be your only proof. I forbid argument. Conquer. That is enough. I will make easy to you the obstruction from the ill-ordered house in the victorious city. Thou shalt thyself convey it with worship, O prophet. Thou likest it not. Thou shalt have danger and trouble. Ra-Hurku is with thee. Worship me with fire and blood. Worship me with swords and with spears. Let the woman be girt with a sword before me. Let blood flow to my name. Trample down the heathen. Be upon them, O warrior. I will give you of their flesh to eat. Sacrifice cattle, little and big, after a child, but not now. Ye shall see that hour, O blessed beast, and thou the scarlet concubine of his desire. Ye shall be sad thereof. Deem not too eagerly to catch the promises. Fear not to undergo the curses. Ye, even ye, know not this meaning all. Fear not at all. Fear neither men, nor fates, nor gods, nor anything. Money, fear not, nor laughter of the folk, folly, nor any other power in heaven or upon the earth or under the earth. Nu is your refuge, as Hadit your light, and I am the strength, force, vigor of your arms. Mercy, let be off. Damn them who pity. Kill and torture, spare not, be upon them. That still they shall call the abomination of desolation. Count well its name, and it shall be to you as 7:18. Why? Because of the fall of because that he is not there again. Set up my image in the east. Thou shalt buy thee an image, which I will show thee, special, not unlike the one thou knowest. And it shall be suddenly easy for thee to do this. The other images group around me to support me. Let all be worshipped, for they shall cluster to exalt me. I am the visible object of worship. The others are secret, for the beast and his bride are they. And for the winners of the ordeal X, what is this? Thou shalt know. For perfume, mix myrrh and honey, and thick leavings of red wine, then oil of abramelum and olive oil, and afterwards soften and smooth down with rich, fresh blood. The best blood is of the moon, monthly, then the fresh blood of a child, or dropping from the host of heaven, then of enemies, then of the priest, or of the worshippers, last of some beast, no matter what. This burn, of this make cakes and eat unto me. This hath also another use. Let it be laid before me, and kept thick with perfumes of your horizon. It shall become full of beetles, as it were, and creeping things sacred unto me. These slay, naming your enemies, and they shall fall before you. Also, these shall breed lust and power of lust in you at the eating thereof. Also, ye shall be strong in war. Moreover, be they long kept, it is better, for they swell with my force all before me. My altar is of open brass work. Burn thereon in silver or gold. There cometh a rich man from the west, who shall pour his gold upon thee. From gold forge still. Be ready to fly or to smite. But your holy place shall be untouched throughout the centuries. Though with fire and sword it be burnt down and shattered, yet an invisible house there standeth, and shall stand until the fall of the great equinox, when Humaches shall arise, and the double-wanded one assume my throne and place. Another prophet shall arise, and bring fresh fever from the skies. Another woman shall awake the lust and worship of the snake. Another soul of God and beast shall mingle in the globed priest. Another sacrifice shall stain the tomb. Another king shall reign, and blessing no longer be poured to the hawk-headed mystical Lord. The half of the word of Haru Raha, called Hurpakrat and Rahur Kut. Then said the prophet unto the God, I adore thee in the song. I am the Lord of Thebes, and I, the inspired forth speaker of Mentu. For me unveils the veiled sky, the self-slain Ankh-Athna Khonsu, whose words are truth, I invoke, I greet thy presence. O Ra Horkuat, unity uttermost showed. I adore the might of thy breath, supreme and terrible God, who makest the gods and death to tremble before thee. I adore thee. Appear on the throne of Ra. Open the ways of the Kahu. Lighten the ways of the Ka. The ways of the Kabs run through. To stir me or still me, let it fill me. So that thy light is in me, and its red flame is as a sword in my hand to push thy order. There is a secret door that I shall make to establish thy way in all the quarters. These are the adorations, as thou hast written, as it is said. The light is mine, its rays consume me. I have made a secret door into the house of Ra and tomb of Kephra and of Ahator. I am thy Theban, O Mentu, the prophet Ankh-Afna, Khonsu. By Besna, Maut, my breast I beat. By wise Tanek I weave my spell. Show thy star splendor, O Nuit. Bid me within thine house to dwell. O winged snake of light, Hadit, abide with me, Ra Horkuat. All this and a book to say how thou didst come hither, and a reproduction of this ink and paper forever. For in it is the word secret, and not only in the English, and thy comment upon this, the book of the law, shall be printed beautifully in red ink and black upon beautiful paper made by hand. And to each man and woman that thou meetest, wear it but to dine or to drink at them. It is the law to give. Then they shall chance to abide in this bliss or no. It is no odds. Do this quickly. But the work of the comment, that is easy, and Hadit burning in the heart shall make swift and secure thy pen. Establish at thy Kaaba a clerk house, all must be done well and with business way. The ordeals thou shalt oversee thyself, save only the blind ones. Refuse none, but thou shalt know and destroy the traitors. I am Ra Horkuat, and I am powerful to protect my servant. Success is thy proof. Argue not, convert not, talk not overmuch. Them that seek to entrap thee or overthrow thee, them attack without pity or quarter, and destroy them utterly. Swift as a Trojan serpent, turn and strike. Be thou yet deadlier than he. Drag down their souls to awful torment. Laugh at their fear. Spit upon them. Let the scarlet woman beware. If pity and compassion and tenderness visit her heart, if she leave my work to toy with old sweetness, then shall my vengeance be known. I will slay me, her child. I will alienate her heart. I will cast her out from men. As a shrinking and despised harlot shall she crawl through dusk, wet streets, and die cold and hungered. But let her raise herself in pride. Let her follow me in my way. Let her work the work of wickedness. Let her kill her heart. Let her be loud and adulterous. Let her be covered with jewels and rich garments, and let her be shameless before all men. Then will I lift her to pinnacles of power. Then will I breed from her a child mightier than all the kings of the earth. I will fill her with joy. With my force shall she see and strike at the worship of Nu. She shall achieve Hadit. I am the warrior lord of the 40s. The 80s cower before me and are abased. I will bring you to victory and joy. I will be at your arms in battle, and ye shall delight to slay. Success is your proof. Courage is your armor. Go on, go on. In my strength and ye shall turn not back for any. This book shall be translated into all tongues, but always with the original in the writing of the beast. For in the chance shape of the letters and their position to one another, and these are mysteries that no beast shall divine. Let him not seek to try, but one cometh after him, whence I say not, who shall discover the key of it all. Then this line drawn is a key. Then this circle squared in its failure is a key also. And abrahadabra, it shall be his child, and that strangely. Let him not seek after this, for thereby alone can he fall from it. Now the mystery of the letters is done, and I want to go on to the holier place. I am in a secret fourfold word, the blasphemy against all gods of men. Curse them, curse them, curse them. With my hawk's head, I peck at the eyes of Jesus as he hangs upon the cross. I flap my wings in the face of Muhammad and blind him. With my claws, I tear out the flesh of the Indian and the Buddhist, Mongol, and Din. Balasti, Umpida, I spit on your crapulous creeds. Let Mary inviolate be torn upon wills. For her sake, let all chaste women be utterly despised among you. Also for beauty's sake and love's. Despise also all cowards, professional soldiers who dare not fight but play. All fools despise. But the keen and the proud, the royal and the lofty, ye are brothers. As brothers fight ye. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. There is an end of the word of the God enthroned in Ra's seat, lighting the girders of the soul. To me do ye reverence, to me come ye through tribulation of ordeal, which is bliss. The fool readeth this book of the law and its comment, and he understandeth it not. Let him come through the first ordeal, and it will be to him as silver, through the second gold, through the third stones of precious water, through the fourth ultimate sparks of the intimate fire. Yet to all it shall seem beautiful. Its enemies, who say not so, are mere liars. There is success. I am the hawk-headed Lord of silence and of strength. My nemesis shrouds the night blue sky. Hail, ye twin warrior, about the pillars of the world, for your time is nigh at hand. I am the Lord of the double wand of power, the wand of the force of Kophnia, but my left hand is empty, for I have crushed an universe, and naught remains. Paste the sheets from right to left, and from top to bottom. Then behold, there is a splendor in my name, hidden and glorious, as the sun of midnight is ever the sun. The ending of the words is the word abrahadabra. The book of the law is written and concealed. Ha. Wow, that was extremely dark, and this is very symbolic. Much symbolism is orchestrated throughout this. I also see a lot of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and then Aleister Crowley makes the comment that you shouldn't study this work, you should just give it to everybody, and that they need to transfer this into every different language. Well, here's what I see. I see that this specific three-part treatise that was supposedly via automatic writing, where Aleister Crowley and his female partner at the time summoned Iwas, and Iwas is supposedly the Antichrist, and obviously Crowley called himself the Great Beast, the wickedest man in the world, 666, yet I think that 666 represents many more things than just the number of man and the man being the beast. And we talk about the carbon atom, the sun box, etc., all having that same representation. Yet this is very dark, and it also really paints a picture of a lot of these blood rituals that have been going on now for thousands of years that we know about. You know, the Mayans ripping out hearts of people for sacrifice, Baal worship, Moloch worship. This goes back thousands and thousands of years. And remember, let's say that Aleister Crowley did summon up the great beast. Well, then wouldn't that mean that this book right here, this 3-part book is, or this, I should say, these 3 books, essentially, coming from the Antichrist himself? And what does that actually mean? Because you read through this, and you've got blood sacrifice, rituals, the rebellion of the old way. It seems as if this is pushing people to go as far out as they can on the other extreme. And then at the end, when he started talking about how, you know, with my hawk's head, I pecked the eyes out of Jesus. And then he says he flaps his wings in the face of Muhammad, making him blind. He rips on the Buddha. This is just definitely, this is a god of war. This is absolutely a god of war. And look at the world today, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me that this is not a blueprint of what is going on right now. This is way above and beyond, in certain aspects, many other books that have been written previously that people feel are blueprints for the global stage. I think this is a blueprint for the global stage. To say that somebody can't get better, to say that somebody just is, and that if you're it makes it sound as if you're born into this world under very difficult circumstances. You know, let's say you're born in a country that it's difficult to get fresh water and food, and you live a very difficult life. And that's like saying you can't ever become a greater person. You just have to stick with that. That also, this entire work, as metaphysical and magical as it might be, you know, when Crowley says, okay, don't read this book, don't research it, or just read it once, don't read it more than once, because there will be dire consequences. It's almost as if that adds more persona to the book and makes it more difficult for people. You know, why would you give a book to everybody in the world, just read it once and say, okay, don't study it? It's mind plays. It's like, okay, well, if there are any mistakes in there, then you're not going to be able to find them because you're not going to be able to read it again. You're not going to be able to break it down and say, well, why was that written? Or how did that conclusion come up? Oh, let's just take this person's word for it because he summoned up his guardian angel, which is the Antichrist. I don't understand. Yet, here's what I see. I'll tell you this much. You know, he talks about do these things and you will see how powerful you will become. So that is proof in and of itself. So I'm sure there's people out there that don't have enough of a conscience, or maybe they do and they just bypass it to where they're willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top. But it even says here, it says right here, if you're born of a certain level, you're not going to get any better anyway. So what's the point? There's certainly a lot of physics involved in this, astronomy, the stars, a lot of details. It's very in-depth. And I also see it being very programming and very frightening. The stuff that it talks about doing, I mean, aren't we past that yet? Aren't we beyond that? And here, and what else is interesting is this was done over 3 days. And supposedly it was an hour of automatic writing each day. So there's 3 parts to this. And it starts off a lot friendlier. Did you notice that? I mean, it starts off a lot happier, and then towards the end, I mean, you're talking to a god of war that just wants destruction and to worship it, and you'll be fine in war. But if you're a pig, you're a pig. You'll never be any better. That's it. You're a pig. You're a cockroach. You'll never be anything different. Cockroach of the earth. It says it right here. That's scary, guys. I'm telling you. I mean, when you really understand this, and people my goodness, you guys, I just showed you yesterday Flash Gordon and the Thelema logo all over Flash Gordon's compadres. And here's the scary thing, is there's a lot of good stuff in, like good information in certain scriptures and ancient writings that one might call magical. But then when it gets to the whole blood ritual sacrifice stuff and it takes something a little bit good, like, it'll talk about a little bit of good stuff, and then all of a sudden it'll throw on all this shit and all this darkness. And that's one thing I'm going to tell you guys right now. If you want to learn how to get people to agree with you better, you start off with a bunch of yes set questions, okay? You get them to start agreeing with you on things. Yes, yes, yep, that's right. Yep, I'm wearing shoes. Yep, the sky is blue. Yep, I had a nice day today. Yep, my car, I just washed it. Yep. And then, after you get a bunch of yeses, then you start throwing in the more difficult questions. And they're on that yes set already. Kind of like that Progressive commercial where that one chick's talking to that guy, that crazy looking chick, and he's like, yes, yes, that's great. Yes, yes. And she's like, I don't got to get all serious about it. They were showing you right there that the yes set. Like, let's say you've got kids, okay, and your kid's grounded, and your kid's looking for a way to get ungrounded. So your kid starts asking you a bunch of questions that you're going to agree with, and then after you've said 5, 6, 7 yeses, then your kid goes, oh, and since I've been so good, and I washed the dishes, I took out the garbage, and can I please be ungrounded? You're going to be a lot more likely to say, okay. Then if he just comes up to you and says, Mom, Dad, can I be ungrounded, please? So, it's kind of like I was going to use the Georgia Guidestones as an example. There's some guides, some rule lines in there that seem good, like get rid of petty officials, get rid of petty laws. I mean, that makes great sense. But at the very top, it says you never have more than 500 million people on the earth at any given time. And I've thought to myself in the past, well, if if you really want to convince somebody on something, maybe put that at the bottom and then put all the other stuff at the top there, so at least they'll see some of the other things that you are attempting to put across as balance. So obviously I don't think that there should be just 500 million people on the earth with 7 billion people here right now. I think that maybe they were looking at it more of the mindset of there could be a global catastrophe that wipes out most people, and at that point, maybe a new start would be to keep things at a certain level. But what gives them the right to decide versus anybody else, right? I mean, that goes back to this whole mindset here of this book. Well, they think they're mightier than we are, so they think that they can make the decisions and decide what the rule book's going to be in the future. I don't agree with that. I think that we all have a choice. We all have the opportunity. And even Crowley's saying, do what thou wilt is the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. First of all, love is will. Here's what I think of do what thou wilt. If you do what your purpose is, if you do what you're supposed to do, that makes sense. To just do whatever you want, that's not doing your will. Or is it? Did God give you that mindset to just do whatever you want? This is a very controversial question. I think that if you're following your true will, it's a lot more difficult than just doing whatever you want. Because they're two different things, in my opinion. But to say will is above love, that is, in my opinion, another neurolinguistic programming trigger word saying that if you got to do something really bad because you think that's your will, then that's above love. And I don't buy that. I think that the ultimate love is your will. That is your purpose. That's why you were created by divine source. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I have read to you the blueprint of the New World Order, of the New World Order. You know the blueprint of the New World Order right now. What are you going to do about it? And also, I am looking through the book of the law that Aleister Crowley wrote, the actual, his handwriting, and I've gotten into the study of handwriting a little bit, not a whole lot, but enough to if somebody writes a letter and I read it, I can get a basic understanding of how their mind works. And I'm looking at this, and all of his writing goes down. It's instead of writing, like when you write something, if you don't have straight lines, if you're writing on a blank piece of paper, just think back to, and I want you to leave a comment about this if you would. Do you write straight across? Do you write with a little bit of a upward, little upwards, or do you write downwards? Just a little bit, maybe a 6%, 3% scale. Not like, real crazy or anything, but just look at your handwriting and see if you write up or if you write down a little bit. Now, if you're writing the lines that are up a little bit when you're taking notes, that means you're optimistic. You have an optimistic outlook. If you're writing down, where you notice that the lines are going down a little bit, you have more of a pessimistic attitude. If you research graphology of serial killers, if you ever just look at one of their letters online or something like that, like Ted Bundy or Jeffrey Dahmer or something. A lot of times you'll see that these serial killers, they've got handwriting that it's moving up and down. Like it's not staying in a straight line up or a straight line down. It's bouncing all over the place. And if you ever look at Einstein's handwriting, for example, his handwriting is near perfect and very small letters that are perfectly spaced almost. Well, not perfectly, but very well spaced, not a whole lot of space in between the letters, and they're small and detailed. Well, that's Einstein for you. So you can actually learn a lot about somebody's handwriting if you research it. And a lot of people that have gone to school to be an FBI agent or work in certain alphabet agencies, detective stuff like that, graphology is a very important tool that they can use to profile people. So next time you give somebody your handwriting, just be aware of that. If somebody studies graphology, then they'll get a really good idea who you are. It's funny because I think I shared this with you before, about a year or so ago on the Leak Project. Somebody that I used to work with at a Fortune 100 company, before he went into that industry, he worked with the Department of Defense. He's been in Langley, many family members in the military, high up in the military, and very intelligent person. Well, he studied graphology and neurolinguistic programming and body language and all that kind of stuff, which he was able to use and incorporate into the business that he went in after that. But one time I remember I took a bunch of notes because of this customer I was talking to, and I had it in my hand, and he goes, "Rex, can I see your notes?" And I knew as soon as he took that he was just going to look at it and study my handwriting. I could sense it. So I was like, "Sure, go ahead." And he looked at it and he goes, "Rex, do you start a lot of projects and then not finish them oftentimes and go on to something else?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so. Not really." And then I started thinking about it, and I went up to him later on that day. I was like, "Tommy, you were so right, man. I do that all the time." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." And I'm like, "Wow, how'd you know that?" He's like, "Well, you can tell by this part of your handwriting. You see the way you do this, and you don't cross your T's completely, and you don't dot all your I's." And he was able to show me all these details. And I'm like, man, I need to get into this more. So even when you research things like graphology and somebody's handwriting, the way somebody walks, the way somebody talks, body language is so key. And that's why it's so difficult to communicate on the internet sometimes in the comments section, because what you say has about a 7 to 8% impact on the overall response or what somebody else is going to think when you communicate with somebody in the real world. So your body language is about 60%. The way that you say it is about 32%. And then actually the words that you say make up for about 7 to 8% of the overall outcome. Think about that for a minute. So no wonder it's difficult to get along in the comment section. So let's jump back to the book of the law, because this is an extremely dark work. And it's almost as if that is the blueprint for selling your soul to the devil. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that? I've heard of people actually literally have to sign contracts in blood because you get that blood connection, and blood is very powerful. Yet this is almost like when it's saying, "Follow me, worship me, all in the name of me, I will give you all these rewards." And I don't know. It's pretty scary if you ask me. And also at the same time, if you're aware of it and you say, "No, I'm not going to assimilate. I'm not playing ball," I think you'll have a better chance to spiritually, mentally, and hopefully physically evolve. So thank you for listening. Make sure to support our sponsors, getthetea.com for the best in health supplements. Also, check out the Quick Bivy. One of these things could help save your life if you ever get in a bad situation and you need to stay warm for a period of time. We have awesome podcasts on our premium section on Leak Project for premium members, exclusive, leakproject.com. Over 800 podcasts on youtube.com/clandestine Time Lord, always free. So make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Thank you for being here with me. Question everything and be the change you want to see.